Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Culture Cousins podcast. I'm Tiffany,
I'm Zarina.
and we are two cousins criticizing the culture, and we know that you can relate. Um, so, we are on episode 8. How are you feeling so far about the pod and just how
I'm
things are
feeling
going?
good. I feel like we're very consistent, and I like the stuff that we're creating, regardless of who sees it or who doesn't. I'm
Yes,
confident in what we're doing.
yes.
Like I like whatever it is that we come out with. I like it. So as long as I feel confident in it and I like it, I feel like even if we were the only two that were watching it, like I would still want to do it again next week.
Yeah, yeah, I love that, and I agree. I feel the same way, and actually, sometimes I just be watching it like I'm a fan, like
Right.
because it's just cool to see like your work, you know,
Hmm.
and just I also feel like watching it helps me like become better because and that's an amazing segue because I do have like some points from last week because last week I don't know if it's professional or not to say this but last week when we recorded or the last episode rather I was super sleepy and some of them topics man when I started talking I was like girl what are you talking about right now but we can get to that a little bit later. How are you feeling just overall?
I'm feeling pretty good, like an 8 out of 10. Ready to just like start my year. My horoscope, I just checked it like for the year, and it was just like this year for me is just about rebirth and just I'm gonna become like a whole new person pretty much, and I'm gonna really be connecting with people, um, and like I'm having a lot of collaborations and like to stick with like my creativity
Mm,
because it's gonna be like I said, like it's gonna be like otherworldly for me to the outcome of it will be otherworldly for if I just stick with my creativity and just
what
keep
do you
going
think
with
that
that.
means?
It'll be just like a really good outcome, I guess. Like something that's very unexpected. That's what I took from it. Also, like I got a tarot reading and it said like she pretty much said the same thing, like to stick with my creativity or creative outlets or whatever I'm doing. She said like it'll really help with my confidence and she said like this year for me is just about finding myself and my individuality and my
Hmm.
inner strength. Um, she said that's like what my year is about. Um, so yeah.
Okay, great. Um, I I just kind of echo what you said. Like I'm pretty excited too about just what's to come. Um, and in good spirits today. So that's always good. Sometimes it's a little up and down, but overall, you know, trying to stay focused on the goal and just um, consistent as well, which is important. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I guess that's it for us. The
This
mood
is
mood check. I think that's what we should call it, mood check.
mood
I like
check.
that. But
I like that too.
thanks.
Um, this is off topic, but I was in this other Zoom meeting like
Mhm,
yesterday, and like the host of it, she had like a one of the backgrounds they have for it, like it's like a little beach background,
mhm.
and then everybody kept asking, "Oh, are you at a beach or is that a background?" And there was a little palm tree swinging by her head, and I'm just like,
There's no
"Are
way.
y'all are y'all serious?" Like she was like, "Guys, for the last this, I am not at a beach right now. I'm in my office." I was like, "Are y'all being serious right now? Y'all really think that she's at an actual beach with going like this in a
And it's
chair?"
Wi-Fi like on the beach. I don't know.
And right,
Um,
and she's on a computer, so you think
yeah.
she got a desktop computer in the middle of the beach with the ocean perfectly sitting right behind her, and the
Look,
tree keep blowing like that?
people do not think before they say stuff. They don't
That just went
like.
on my mind. Like, why would you say that?
They don't think.
And people kept asking her that. They'd be like, "Oh, I want to be where you at right now. Where you at? Take me with you."
You can easily be there by downloading these apps on the side.
Right. that was ridiculous. Like, why do you keep asking her that? Have y'all
And do
never
they
been in a
not?
Zoom meeting before?
And do they not hear her saying that I'm not at the beach? Like,
Right.
um, oh, but I have a treat for the audience. So you guys are lucky we're recording in the morning time. So my puppy, or I guess he's not a puppy no more. I don't know what age dogs are not considered a puppy, but he's gonna be 2 in April. So I don't know if that's still a puppy or not. But this is Meeko. Hopefully he don't get grumpy when I try to pick him up, cause he look a little. I don't know. Let's see. Ooh, hey guys. I can get him to look.
He's like, please go for me.
Uh,
You are around dogs that you black. You a dog, but you still black.
yeah.
You a black dog. Even though he's a dog, he's still black.
Right. But his name is Meeko, y'all. Oh lord. But anyway, yeah, that's him. But yeah, so we can jump into the combo. And sorry if I look away from time to time. It's just that he be doing the most. But yeah, what's the first thing on the discussions?
We're just gonna start off with our questions.
Okay.
That I have to like get to know us better.
Okay. Cool.
Even though y'all probably got like a good idea, but we like this segment, so we're just gonna try to keep doing it every now and then. My first question is before making a phone call, do you like rehearse what you're gonna say
Absolutely.
with every
Absolutely.
person?
Well, no, not every person.
Who would
Uh,
you rehearse your call for?
Sometimes, with work we have to do conference calls. So
Hmm.
sometimes I have to lead like meetings and stuff. So I definitely go over what I'm going to say. And so that's probably number one. Like anything that's professional related, I try to think about what I'm going to say.
Hmm.
Aside from that, um, if I have something heavy to say or it's like an uncomfortable conversation, no
Hmm.
matter who it is, I'm going to think about what I want to say and how it could be perceived, that type of
Yeah.
thing. But really, those are just like the main ones. Aside from that, if it's just like on the random, usually I'm pretty okay and safe with,
Yeah.
how I talk. But those two would probably be the ones where I think about it. What about you?
I used to a lot when I was younger, but I don't really practice what I'm gonna say anymore. Like I just go in rapid fire, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
If I make an appointment, I'm like, it may come off awkward but I feel like even if I do practice it, it's gonna even come off even more awkward. And I'll sound like not like I'm not being myself. And I
Mhm.
don't like not feeling like I'm not being myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I never do that anymore. It's like a rare occasion. And usually if I'm talking to someone and it's like an uncomfortable conversation, I don't really worry about rehearsing what I'm gonna say because I try to take every like anything I do or talk to anyone, take it into like care and try to like talk, as careful as I can to people.
Mhm.
But my next question is,
Hold on one second. I just wanna. So just to kind of elaborate on mine a little more. So I think for me, the thing is, I sometimes forget the points that I want to make,
mhm,
and I'm like, and it's not so much like a script, but more so like just points that I want to touch on. Because if I don't do that, my short term is not it's not where it's not where it used to be. So
mhm,
yeah, it's definitely a necessity for me. But that's all I wanted to add.
right. Um, but my next question is, what will make the perfect day for you? It doesn't have to be like anything extravagant, but just like,
Yeah, that my answer is not extravagant at all. I would just say just doing nothing. Like just not being bothered, just being away somewhere. I may even not have no phone, like no phone, like somewhere on a beach where there's like unlimited food and drinks and just like massage, um, just away, away.
Hmm. Me, I would be just going out with my friends or something, or
Mhm.
getting time where I don't have to be a parent and not feel like a parent 24/7
Mhm.
and feel like I'm a person again, like my actual self.
Yeah.
Um, Not just have to have him like in the back of my head, even though when I'm away from him, he will always be in the back of my head, but
Right.
just not having that responsibility for like an hour, maybe two, three, maybe if I'm lucky. Don't I won't get too crazy and say a whole day, but that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And then like going out to eat somewhere, like maybe doing something where I can be creative and take pictures, and just be around like good energy.
Right. Definitely a
Um,
vibe.
if you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be?
Um, a lot of times, like the stuff people would say around me instilled maybe fear. And I think because that happened, like a lot of things I didn't want to do or uh, delayed doing. So I would change that. Also, like I had to experience like a traumatic, uh, and it's not, well, I guess that doesn't count for that because that's not how I was raised technically. But yeah, so I would just say not being
So sheltered.
that, but um I guess I guess just not certain like mindsets like of my parent.
Hmm.
I would I would change. Just I think that answers it. I think
Hmm.
that answers not to get too specific, but because I just sometimes just going down that road is triggering. But I would just say like maybe with a change mindset of parent or parents.
Hmm. Um, I don't think I would change anything about the way I was raised. Like, I think I had a pretty good childhood. Um, I think my parents were very just like my best friend in a way. So I love being around them and like talking to them. And I think
Yeah,
that's part of the reason why I had a good childhood because I was always up under my parents all the time. Um, the only thing I probably would like I didn't really like it was just like as I got a little older and was like gaining weight, like just like how some of my parent one of my parents like the way that was handled, like um not necessarily them having an issue with me wanting to lose weight. That wasn't an issue. It's just how it was talked about in family functions and brought up constantly, and it made me very like insecure, and it like
yeah,
really affected my self esteem during that age. But other than that, that would be like the only thing I had an issue with. Um, because I feel like your parents sometimes really shape who you are as a person, and like the person I am now, like I love the person I am now, so I would say my parents definitely took a part in that. So I really wouldn't like regret anything other than what I mentioned.
okay.
Um, if if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about your life, yourself, or your future, what would you want to know?
I guess like sometimes when things traumatic kind of happen, and I know that there's like a purpose for everything, like there's a reason for everything. I would just like to know each event, like why, what was the purpose of that,
Mhm.
like why. And I know like some things happen to allow other things to happen, but I would just like, because I know what I think the reasons are, but like if something could tell me like for certain, like what was the reason for this and was the lesson from this? Like, I would like to know those type of things.
Yeah. I want to know just like how my son will like grow up to how he will look, or what kind of person he'll grow up to be, or what his career will be like,
Mm-hmm.
and like what kind of person he'd be interested in, and how are his friends, like what kind of friends he has.
Right.
And I guess I want to know like maybe who my future husband would be. I don't know if I want to know that because I kind of like the mystery of not knowing. Part of me likes the mystery of not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just want to see like a piece of it, like what my wedding day would look like or something like that. Not necessarily him, or just like a little piece of it. Um, yeah, I think that's all I want to know. Because I feel like everything else, like I enjoy like the mystery of life, and I enjoy like the path and like
Mm-hmm.
the journey. And
Yeah.
even though I think about, oh, what is this going to be in the future? What's this going to be in the future? Of course, I think about that all the time, but I like not knowing to a
Right.
certain extent. Because I like that's a part of your journey. It's like you thinking about, oh, this could be this or this could be this, and I feel like if I didn't know, it would ruin like that
It would drive
fantasy
you
or that,
crazy.
yeah, or that fantasy or that dream. It would like kind of ruin it for me. It would ruin like the possibility, even whether it's good or bad. It would just like kind of ruin like, okay, well, I already got the answer to this,
Right.
and then I feel like that would kind of affect how your decision making and
Absolutely.
ultimately could change the outcome.
Yeah, because
But
you're
I don't
gonna
know.
try to make it happen before it happens.
Right. Um, if you walked into a room with and everyone you've met in your whole life, who would you start looking for?
All I, I feel like all of these questions are like I feel like all of these questions are leading me to the same answer, but I'm just sorry. I'm just trying not to go into it. But
We can
so the
skip
so
over it if you want,
oh
or you could pass on the question.
I don't have I'll say it. So when I was younger, 9, um so I had a brother who passed away, and so if I were to have the ability to do that, I would definitely go to find him.
Hmm. Um, I think mine would be, I guess, just people. I guess when I thought this question, like, I guess I kind of thought of like just the people I trust the most, um, and just the people who I'm closest to. So like if I just started seeing everybody I knew in a room or have met, I would just automatically look, okay, where is my family? Like where are the people that I'm closest to? Like where's my best friend or stuff like that. That's probably who I would start looking for, like either my family or like really, really close friends. Um, what do you do when you feel anxious?
Oof. Depends on what I'm anxious about. Uh, Probably when I've ever felt the most anxiety is before a flight.
Mm-hmm.
Most anxiety ever in my life. Before a flight, before interview, anything that could be like life altering, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I would rate flight number one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what I do is, uh, I don't really do anything. Well, that's a lie. I try to like bring things along that will help me cope with the anxiety that I'm feeling. So like
Mm-hmm.
headphones, download movies, watch movies so that I don't focus on what's really happening. I try to watch action movies at that, which I don't really watch typically, but I need something that
Mm-hmm.
would
You were doing
really
that on the plane.
yeah.
She was watching scary movies on the plane on her first flight. I don't know why you thought that would help you take your mind off. Because
But not
like it was so funny because you kept screaming, you kept screaming on the plane.
but because of that was because what was happening though. Like the feeling.
Yeah.
Um And but so now they're action movies. I don't do scary movies no more. But sometimes the action movies, like the worst be happening in them. Like it be
Yeah.
stuff blowing up, buildings uh falling. I'm like, is this necessarily a good idea? Because this is kind of related to what I'm fearful of on this
Yeah.
bike. But I still do
Um.
it because it's action and it gets my attention.
Yeah. Like we didn't tell them like last time, like when we were talking about the our plane experience, how they like
Oh,
said our name.
oh yeah,
Like you
yeah, yeah.
remember, like because we were talking to the little, what do you call it, the stewardess? I don't know what it's
Yeah,
called, flight
I think
attendant,
that's right. Oh yeah,
the
fine.
flight attendant, and we were talking to her and telling her that it's our first like time on a plane. She was like, well, she must feel really good about it. And I was like, it's a short flight. She was very like comforting and sweet.
Hmm.
And then we were about to take off. The pilot was like, okay, we got first time flyers. Tiffany's arena was
But
that was
shout
the
out
beginning of the culture cousins, really.
for real, and shout out to that, and shout out to that man because like that helped me a lot. He don't know, but that helped me a lot because it got me like, because when it happened, like it was unexpected, and then you kind of like,
Yeah.
oh my god, and then that kind of took the nervousness away. Like, oh, we
Hmm.
have people here with us supporting us.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just a small gesture you can do for
Hmm.
someone, and it really can, like enhance their experience. So
Yeah.
that's something that was pretty cool.
Um, when I get anxious, like I tend to like clench my jaw up, like my mouth will be like tight.
Hmm.
Like anything when I'm anxious or nervous, you will not be able to tell by just looking at me. Like I'll be
Oh,
just like this, and you won't be able to tell that I'm like dying
poker
inside. Like
face.
I'm about to like explode. Like
Na na
um
na 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 poker face.
you will not be able to tell. I mean, it's not because I'm trying to, it's just I feel like if I'm nervous or anxious, like if I'm freaking out and exerting that energy, that makes it worse for me.
Hmm.
Um, but my heart will be beating like doom 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 doom, and my jaw will be clenched. Usually, if I just have like a lot in my mind and I can't sleep, my jaw is like clenched, and I have to remember like, hey, unclench your jaw so you can go to sleep. Um, Let me see this. What are some lessons you are learning in your life right now?
Oof. Um, sometimes life isn't fair. Sometimes you have to deal with unexpected responsibilities. Just it's a purpose for everything. Trying to stay uh uh dealing with things that come your way that may not be unexpected. You can't really have a plan. I mean, you can have a plan, but sometimes uh like your plan can change and you just have to learn to adjust. It's kind of
Yeah.
like almost like a grind. Um,
Right.
but I think it builds character. I think whatever happens to you, and it's kind of, I guess, answers the question that I was asking before, but I think the things you experience, especially unexpected things or like adversity, that type of thing, it builds character. And the character that it builds is necessary for your next level.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's definitely a current or recent like type of lesson I've learned. Also, so maybe like just take chances. And if you have something you want to do, start the process because that's the first step in being successful.
Hmm.
Um, and I guess that's pretty much it. That sums it up for the moment.
Um, I think my would be just stay calm and just like build like I don't know if that's a lesson, but just like have confidence in yourself and
Definitely.
trust your intuition. Um, and like just learning how to just not take things to heart and just take a note and just move on with my life
Right.
and not let things just dwell on me so much.
Okay.
But yeah, that was just the last of my questions.
Okay. Um. So what we got next? I can't pull up
Um,
anything.
Next we have just this tea that's been going on surrounding Joseline's Cabaret, Joseline, Amber, cast members of the show. Um, there's an incident on I guess they filmed the reunion a few days ago, and basically allegedly what happened was one of the cast members, Amber, was like beaten like really bad and got into a big altercation with Jocelyn, Ballistic, and maybe a few other cast members, and she came out of it like with like bruised ribs and like it was a very traumatizing situation for her. Um and then she went on live saying like what all happened and that Ballistic played a big part in the outcome of her being in the hospital and her apparently getting like her hair snatched out. And Jocelyn later tweeted um like basically just a bunch of vulgar things about the whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like boasting that she did do those things allegedly. um and then later, I guess recently, they both released statements regarding like Amber was basically gonna take legal action regarding what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And Jocelyn and I guess Zeus Network, they released a statement saying like how they don't really condone any violence and how the show is kind of about women empowerment, and they're not trying to like focus on like the negative stuff or whatever, and kind of pretty much disregarding everything that Amber said. Um, and for me, I just feel like I believe Amber 100%.
Me too.
Um, I always believe the victim
Mm-mm.
until they are proven like guilty, or well, not guilty, but like when the truth comes out,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I probably would decide who I really do believe. But whenever the victim says this happened to me, I believed her when she said it, because I mean, you can tell when someone says something and they've been through something that they're being honest. Um, and I feel like, just after like this whole situation just makes you not want to support Jocelyn in anything she does, because she made this platform for women in like, you know, the exotic dancer world, sex workers, all that. She made this platform to like empower them and give them a platform to showcase their talent, and then she's pretty much taking the beauty of that away by demeaning them every episode, calling them names and beating them. And it's like, for some stuff regarding reality shows with a bunch of women, you're going to expect certain things like cat fights, fighting, drama. That stuff is like expected. But I feel like Jocelyn is the host, so she should live up to a host role and be more of a coach and a organizer of the show, and not really even
Exactly.
get involved in the drama that the girls are having. Of course, like, people love Jocelyn for her personality, and of course we want to see that too, but it's like she's showing all the bad parts of her personality, and
Yeah.
that's not good. And it's just like, if you're about supporting women, like, you're pretty much going against everything that you supposed to be standing for.
Right.
And like, if I didn't like watch like her throughout reality TV show, I would just write it off as she's just a bad person. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, just because I've seen like some of the stuff she's been through on camera, I can't really necessarily say she's just a terrible person. I feel like she has been through a lot, but that's not really an excuse to treat people that way. Like, I feel like if anything, she needs therapy. And I mean, I don't want to see her go to jail for a long time, but I mean, if that's what the law decides, and so be it. But I feel like she has a daughter at that. This is someone's mother, like, and she's acting like this. Like, it's just sad. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Um, I agree with what you said. Especially regarding Jocelyn and how she's acting and how she's acting on the show. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's like she take 3 steps forward and get knocked 4 steps back. Like, it's just like it's hard to it's hard to support her. And then here comes Zeus saying we don't support bullying when half of your shows bullying is involved. Like,
yeah,
and if you really don't support what's going on, then don't air the reunion.
right,
Like, if you really don't support it. But no, you're gonna show it because that's how the audience, the demographic that this caters to. That's
yeah,
what They
Zeus,
won't.
like, it's just very like unprofessional. Like, for example, like when you think of reality shows, of course we had fights and all kind of crazy stuff throughout reality TV show history, but for VH1, for example, Love and Hip Hop, for example, you'll see a fight
Them
break
two.
out. You'll see a fight break out, and but the security will be there, and like they'll separate stuff. They'll try to make an effort to pull it apart.
Right.
You'll see like 1,000 security guards at a reunion, trying to like mediate and get people calm and stuff like that and separate people in different rooms. And like Zeus is just like the security guard will just be present. He won't even try to stop anything. Like he may hold his arm out like this, and then a girl will be like, knock it out, and then he'll be like, okay, and then the fight will just continue.
Yeah.
And it's like and like we said before, like the show is very like graphic nudity.
Mhm.
Like if they could show someone's genitalia on there, they could because they be getting real close to showing it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's nothing like I don't say there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it takes away the professionalism of the show because you don't see all these other networks and stuff showing such graphic like nudity. And
Yeah.
they be like smoking on there, smoking drugs and all that on there. Like it is very super unprofessional. And I feel like just because they had that just laid back, raw, they say raw or whatever kind of approach to their filming, and it's just pretty much like a war zone when it comes to fighting. Like anything goes. Like, and I know everyone loves like the little Gaia character, but I don't like her because it's just like I feel like people just like her because she's outrageous and she just be doing stuff just to do it. But she'll literally take someone, flip them like 2 or 3 times, and the security will do absolutely
Oh
nothing.
yeah. Well,
So
no.
I'm just like,
But that's
okay, and
security fault. You should have stopped this.
yeah, but I feel like isn't. I mean, it is security's fault, but I feel like Zeus doesn't care whether they help them or not.
Oh no. No, he don't.
Because I feel like in the day is Zeus, they're the distributor. They're in charge of hiring security or whatever, or
Keep talking. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry.
they're in charge of hiring security or um choosing like when to intervene and when not to intervene. How serious a fight can get, when you think someone should like stop like filming, when they should cut off filming, stuff like that. Zeus is in charge of all of that. Um and that's why I feel like that's where the problem comes in because there's too much of a laid back kind of approach. And I mean, I guess it's not really on purpose. They want it to be laid back so people can just do whatever they want. But this is when it gets serious because now there's someone that's really hurt in the hospital. Like that should never, if you have a show, that should never be the case where one of your cast members have to leave the show because they have to go to the hospital. Because I feel like a lot of those fights can be prevented. And then like I think Jocelyn has this thing where she doesn't want anybody to like fight her or put their hands on her. And that's why she needs to fall back and just be the host again. Like she doesn't need to be a part of the cast. Like she needs to be just the host. And then she won't have to worry about getting in no fights if she was just staying in her role and stop getting involved in stuff. And like last week, I told you to be bringing up all these little behind the scenes fights and arguments that we don't even know about.
Mhm.
Like it's just like what? It's just all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely got to do something to get it together.
I mean, I don't think they are gonna get together because either the show's gonna get canceled after this, or that's the only result I can see. Because this is gonna hurt Zeus more than it's gonna help them. But I mean, I don't feel like Jocelyn. I don't feel like she'll go to jail for like a long period of time. She may have to pay like a fine, or maybe go to jail for like a year, or like 2 months, or something like that, or be on probation or something like that. It's probably gonna be a very minor type of thing. But I feel like this is gonna hurt her a lot because in the black community, I mean, I feel like a lot of the girls who are exotic dancers or in the sex work industry really look up to her, and like she could really turn Jocelyn's cabaret into something really beautiful and something to really help put people on. But I feel like Jocelyn doesn't want anyone to be bigger than her. So
Mhm.
I feel like with anything like that, it's like when there's another black woman on the show, there's always a power struggle because she wants to be the one that's on top and the one with the
Mhm.
most attention. But you can
Mhm.
see it with like last season with Big Lex and Miss Natural. They were like very popular already before they came onto the show. So I feel like Jocelyn had a lot of beef with them and wanted to really demean them so they wouldn't like get higher than she is. But I don't feel like Jocelyn doesn't realize like you're hurting yourself more when you do that. You have to really hold yourself like as a like a regal. Like if you really feel like you're better than everyone, don't stoop down to their level and fight with them.
100%. Hmm. Yeah,
So
but I don't know. And I agree with what you said about Jocelyn, but I feel like sometimes I feel like people's outrage only lasts for like the moment. I feel like she could let time pass and they may renew her show. They may.
yeah,
Because like in this era, like people are upset about something for 1 week or 1 month. And then the next thing you know, it's right back to business. So we'll just have
yeah.
to play it and see. Um
I feel like I feel like that that's a possibility for her, but I feel like the only reason I feel like it's not because she keeps doing very immature things like
yeah.
tweeting about it and keep reinforcing that behavior. And it's like eventually people are gonna get tired of that. Like people are gonna get tired of you just putting people down. And like right now in this climate, like black women, we support each other. We stand up for each other. And some stuff we're not gonna just let go and let pass.
Somebody
Um
in the comments was saying, if she was, you know how they say, well, they said, and I'll do it. Jocelyn is, I'll do it if I could. Bro, they said Jocelyn is, if, and I'll do it again if it were a person,
mhm.
if that made
Yeah.
sense. But I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, in the comments, and I was like, yeah, definitely true, because she was like, I ninja kick one. She was just wilding in them tweets. She was like, I ninja
Yeah.
kick one. And I was like, bro, like you up here, bro. Like
Right.
she don't get the consequence or the impact of her actions. I think.
Right. And like when she gets angry, she just it's like a loose cannon.
Mhm.
Like she's not very not I won't say smart, but she doesn't think about what she does before she does it
Mhm.
and doesn't realize like the stuff you do. This isn't 2012 anymore. You can't just say wild stuff on the internet and then just go to bed and everyone forgets about it. Like you're gonna wake up to that tomorrow and you're gonna have to face some consequences and hold yourself accountable.
And
You
even if
can't
you
just be
delete
doing
it,
stuff.
it's
And I
still
think
there.
because like when she was first popping on reality TV, like you could do that kind of stuff. You could just say wild stuff, do problematic stuff, and people brush right past it. May talk about it for one day, but
Mhm.
then it's just like you could do it, keep doing it again. Like it was more acceptable. But problematic behavior like that is not as acceptable.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but yeah, like that just makes me like rethink like her completely. Like it's like she is such. I want to like really love her, but she just be doing wild stuff. Like I can't support you if you're hurting other black women. Like even if you
And
are a black woman.
at one point, they were alleging that she had like a substance abuse issue, so that may be
Hmm.
playing a part in her actions. So, like you
Yeah.
said, therapy or rehabilitation, something to get help. Because I feel like
Right.
maybe if she was her sober self, she may not have these
Right.
type of outlet.
Right.
Like, so she needs to, you know, and I think she may be in denial because the last reunion when Linnell was on there, um, later on, Linnell made a tweet about or a post about people using drugs or whatever, and she commented. And it was like, I don't know who, like, just basically cursing her out, but Linnell didn't at her. Like, she didn't
Hmm.
say this is about you. So that leads me to
Right.
believe that there may be some truth in that. So,
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. That's all I had to say about that situation. Um, but
before we go into the next one, so you know how I said last episode I was a little choppy with my statements. So two things I wanted to like just kind of elaborate on a little bit more. So when we was talking about like the Lil Durk situation or whatever, and I was like, I get his side, not so much him specifically, but I was just saying, you know, guys that feel a certain way about the women or whatever. And my only point was that, you know, I just kind of think about it from my perspective of dating. So basically, like I personally, I feel that can be the perspective of guys and girls. So, because for me personally, I don't necessarily, I like guys that are like low key and like selective, you know, when it comes to like dating, I don't want necessarily to talk to a guy that's like sloppy out here. Everybody you talk to, they don't talk to him, or if not,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So that was my only point.
Mhm.
Because I feel like I myself can't ask that of a guy if I don't move that way. So when a guy says that like that's just their preference, like I get that, but I also feel like they have to be somewhat in the same bracket to
Right.
ask that of a
Right.
woman. You
Right.
can't just be out here wilding and expect
Exactly.
that type of thing. But I don't feel like when I was talking, I was like, what am I saying right now? So I just wanted to kind of make myself clear on that.
Yeah.
Also, when we was talking about the natural hair thing, you mentioned something about like guys who have like maybe an issue with girls with like maybe 4C hair or that type of thing. So I just wanted to talk about natural hair a little bit more. And that comment reminded me of a time. I just want to tell you briefly. One time this guy was talking about I think his girlfriend at the time or whatever wasn't a black girl, but he had a daughter with a black woman. So he was talking
Mhm.
about how he had to get her hair done or whatever, and I guess he had to pay for it or something like that. But he was just talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, well, my girl now, she don't know how to do that type of hair." And then sidebar real quick, I'm like, do guys think about that type of stuff when they
No.
go? I know they don't, but I'm just saying they should. Like if you're gonna have children, they may have hair and features like you. Can this person handle that? Like that should be a big thing. But I
Right.
know they don't think about it. But anyway, um, and he was like, "Oh, we gotta get," and then he said something like, "Oh well, I don't even have hair like that." Like like it was something like beneath him, and I was like, excuse me. And I know, and he didn't really say nothing because I know he knew that I was like not offended, but like, sir, like, who do you think you are?
Right.
You're a black man, and so that just kind of brought me in the realms of like self hate, because that's what that is. And I feel like with black men, like I think sometimes they seek non-black women because they want to create children like I feel like sometimes in childhood, black people get teased a lot about their features and their hair and just sometimes complexion and like sometimes when they grow up, that stuff is still in them because they never healed from it. And I feel like sometimes certain guys, not all of them, but that go into interracial relationships, like sometimes they want kids that aren't 100% like how they are because they're trying to avoid that happening to them, or they're trying to like maybe relive through them and not have that
Right.
experience for them, which is unfortunate because like um we were talking about like people being pro black, but I think with like the field situation and people being pro black but having like interracial relationships or a non-black partner. And I feel like sometimes you can still be both, but I feel like if you're really pushing for that, like sometimes like guys that are in that type of situation, I really don't want to talk to them about black issues, and that may be wrong or toxic, but that's just how I feel because I feel like if you're really like aware of black issues, then you know that like the foundation of those issues start at home and
Right.
like with family and the foundation. And the key to family and foundation is the union of a black man and a black woman.
Right.
So how can you truly, truly, be for that if if the foundation like you're not assisting in. Like you
Right.
have to understand that to be fully aware. I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like that just makes sense.
Mhm.
Start at the
Right.
foundation to help things grow. And this is not a diss to any woman that's not black. It's not your issue or your fault even. But I'm just speaking about this is culture cousins. We talk about issues in our community. We are black women, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things that is going on in our community. Um, so I just wish that black men will understand that. There's a lot of black men that uplift black women. I'm not saying that all men don't uplift black women, date black women, marry black women, because I feel like a lot of times guys will, um, want to date a black woman or smash or whatever you want to say black women, but when it comes to marriage or showing off a woman, they want to get someone outside of being black. And I feel
Hmm.
like a lot of times black women are only seen for an object of desire versus
Right.
being worthy of a union or commitment.
Exactly.
And that's a problem, like for me. Now that kind of segues away from natural hair, but I just wanted to make those points because I feel like it all stems from those type of things.
Yeah.
So,
I had saw this comment on TikTok, and this girl was saying like people are replacing weddings with baby showers now.
mhm,
And like I don't know, I kind of like feel some type of way about that statement because just like I guess I get her point. She was saying like black women we should aim higher and like aspire to marriage and not have babies by men that aren't going to marry you or have no intention on committing to you long term.
mhm,
And but I just like even though it's kind of off topic, but it
that's
just
okay.
takes me into just like just reminds me just of the relationship between black women and black men, and it's just
Mhm,
like I don't know. I just feel like it's not our responsibility. Like y'all don't feel like you should shame women. I don't feel like you should put down. Well, I don't say that creator was putting women down. I know what she was trying to do, but it was just like I don't feel like that was a well way to execute it because I feel like just because you never know why a woman had a baby or why she didn't want to get a go through maybe with an abortion. Maybe that wasn't an option for her. You can't always tell a woman don't have a baby or you shouldn't have a baby. Um, I mean, because sometimes that's not always an option for a woman to just get rid of her baby. You
yeah,
never know what that person was going through or why she decided to have the child.
that's true.
It's different for everyone. And I get maybe like she probably made that post about people who I'm not talking about,
Mhm,
but it's just like you have to realize when you make that kind of statement, you're speaking to all mothers and all women who've probably had baby shower. And I feel like a baby shower is just something special that you want to do for your child. Like it's not
right.
you're not. I mean, maybe you may feel like you're replacing it with the wedding, but it's just like I don't feel like you should take that away from moms. I don't feel like you should make that not as special. I feel like that's what that she wasn't trying to do that. It was just like that how it made me feel like you that makes
Yeah,
seem like my baby shower wasn't something that was special and dear to my heart and something I won't always treasure just because a man isn't involved.
right.
Not everyone has to shape their life after a man. Okay, maybe that's like and people realize like you live and you learn. Like maybe going into your pregnancy you thought that you was gonna be me you and him forever and that it didn't end up being that way and
Mhm,
that's okay. You learned your lesson, move on.
right.
You had your baby shower, you had a good time, you made that memory, move on. So what, you didn't have a wedding? Make that mistake at that young age. 5 years later, you get married to the man of your dreams. That's my thing. Like, and I hate when women do that to each other. Like, oh, y'all just like just always just that whole rhetoric about around baby mothers and getting pregnant by the wrong guy, or y'all are choosing the wrong guy. Like, why is it always on the woman?
Yeah,
Like, we didn't. It takes two to tango. We're
yeah,
not the
that's
one.
very
We don't
true.
propose to ourselves,
That's very true.
and
Yes.
that like really pisses me off. Like, I hate when people say that,
Yeah.
and it's just like what you were saying, like with black men being with white women and stuff, or like other POC. Like I feel like black men, well, the men that I know, like they'll marry a black woman and settle down, be happy, and do all that. But like if the opportunity comes where they can, if it ever comes up where they can be with someone that's another race, like they'll really. It's not necessarily that they won't marry a black woman, but they treat them completely differently when they
Mhm.
do get to that marriage part. Because when I just noticed like some guys when they marry like or even get with like someone that's not white, I mean not black, they really treat them like they really treasure them and hold on to them tight and like
The kids
speak
too.
very highly of them. And like you can tell it's just like this something that they never thought they could have.
Hmm.
That's how they treat white women. I feel like wow,
Yeah.
I never thought I could get a white girl. Let me hold on to this one. Like relax, because I
Yeah.
feel like they see black women as easy as like easy access. Like I could have that any day.
Mm.
That's how I think. That's how I feel like men are how men approach that.
Um,
But yeah,
and just to touch on what you were saying about children, like, or babies, and I also feel like people should, like, for the women who don't have children, stop asking them when or why they don't have kids. That is
hmm,
completely, like, it's getting old. Like,
right,
sometimes women aren't able to have kids, and I don't
right,
feel like they should have to go through their whole medical history or current medical history with you just because, like, that's their personal space. Like, that's their personal
exactly,
information, and I feel like people just, like, are so critical of that. And even if maybe they don't have, like, medical reasons, they could have, like, childhood traumas or stuff
right.
that they're dealing with that. So
I feel like
yeah.
people who decide, I feel like people who don't want to have kids are probably would be the best parents because they realize that kids are little human beings and that's a big responsibility and that's something you can just ask for on a whim. And I feel
Yeah.
like honestly, it's just like a constant battle between the two groups, like women who already have kids and women who don't want to have them. And I feel like not all women who don't have kids, but just like
Yeah.
there's certain women who don't have kids are constantly being pressured to have them and ask why you don't have them. So like sometimes that can be very frustrating and maybe sometimes that anger can turn into projection from the other group of
Yeah.
women who have kids, but I think both groups have to realize we aren't all one dimensional. Like, there's reasons why women don't want to have kids, and you can't sit there and blame women, single mothers who don't have a husband just because you're single and I mean you don't have kids and you got your little boyfriend doesn't mean that doesn't make you better than the other person just because you
And
have
that's just a
kids and
boyfriend. That's not marriage. If you,
right,
if you're commenting and you got so much to say, are you married? Like, it be
right,
people that's not even married making those type of statements, and not, if
right.
even if they were, it doesn't justify it. But I'm just saying, like, how
Right.
you?
Like what I would take away from that is just like just because maybe like situations with kids can get messy and it can be a
Yes.
lot of drama, but that's not the end of your story. That's not the end of your life. Like something can happen and you have kids and you can pull out from that. You can have a rebirth and like start all over and get married later. Like just because I don't have a husband now don't mean I won't in the future.
Yeah.
And what if I never want to get married? What
Yeah.
if that's the option too? And what if I never get married and I'm single the rest of my life with my babies, and I can still be happy?
Yeah.
Like your what's achievable to you isn't doesn't that's not everyone's story. That's not what happiness means to everybody. A husband and kids in marriage.
At
Not
20,
saying
they
that
expect you to have that at 25.
right,
Like, it, people don't understand. At 25, you're barely you. Sometimes 25-year-olds don't even know who they want to be. Sometimes you
right,
don't know who you want to be at 30. So you want me to be married and have a child and a whole complete family, three
right,
kids and a husband at 30, 35. Like, that's
right,
still, the world is changing. Like, and it's harder now to, for some people, especially black people, because we're always a minority. It's harder for us to get jobs. It's harder for us to get houses. It's harder for us to get cars, like that type of thing, unless you have an influx of money from, and who knows how people are getting that. So,
right.
like, it's so many elements, so many factors to life for people to put such, like, hard criticism
Mm-hmm.
on women.
Right,
That's just so annoying.
right.
But yeah, we can move on to the next topic because I hate, like, I hate when I get so, like, into a topic. But yeah, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know, but um, that's all I wanted to say regarding the hair and the last
Um,
episode.
but yeah,
Oh wait, sorry, there is one more thing. So I just kind of wanted to, because we were talking about natural hair and stuff. Uh, I just have a question for the natural hair community, and maybe y'all can tell me in the comments. It seems like grease has been eliminated from, like, tutorials and things people talk about. Like, coming up, like, growing up, grease was a thing. Like, you need to grease your
mm,
scalp, da 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 da. You know. And now no one
it's
ever
just
talks.
jail.
No one ever talks about grease. And I'm
It's
like,
just gel and got to be glue spray and mousse
well, I guess because there's so
and too
many.
much of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want in the comments if y'all can tell me.
Like when I was a kid and my sister would do my hair, like she would never put no mousse on my braids.
Right. And it was
What is that?
fun, you know? But I
Like I
don't
don't
know.
get it.
I just had that question.
So it can look shiny for the picture. I don't get why are we putting mousse on there?
And
Um,
just
and
I
why
just
is
want
like the whole top of our head the edges? Like if I have to flat iron my edges, that defeats the whole purpose of a low maintenance hairstyle.
and
Like
now
I'm not getting up in the morning and flat ironing my edges. I'm sorry.
and
You
it's
shouldn't have that many
flipped.
edges out. You shouldn't have that many edges out for you to be able to flat iron them. Like that's
Yeah, that's
crazy
no
to me.
longer edges. That's just like front. I
Yeah, I
don't
mean
know.
it looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful, but I just feel like that defeats the purpose of it being a low maintenance hairstyle. And it's like I feel like once the hairstylist is done doing your hair, that should be it. If you're getting braids or something like that, you shouldn't have to do anything else to it except maybe you do your edges every once in a while, but not every. I shouldn't have to flat iron my edges like that. Like I shouldn't have to do that every day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And just like my experience so far with like going natural. So I did like a big chop in like 2020, August 2020. And just to kind of talk about I guess like the difference that I experienced between natural and relaxed. My hair is very, very thick. So even when my hair was relaxed, it appeared like if it was curled or something, it still looked like
Me
it was
too.
natural. So I just decided to go ahead and do it. And then for as like I guess the growth process, like when my hair was relaxed, I feel like it would only reach a certain length. And it would stop there. So which was typically about like to the top of my shoulder. And I feel
Mhm.
like since I've been natural and I haven't had my hair like officially pressed since I've been natural, but I feel like it's past that point and it's only been a year.
Mhm.
So that was like just something that I noticed. Um, but you know, I I will give like I guess on my personal page I will give like a update on it or like do some type of journey vlogs
Mhm.
with that. But yeah, that's just my experience so far. But
Mhm.
that just when we started talking about like the hair comment about the guy or whatever, it just made me kind of want to talk about that a little bit more.
Mhm.
But that's all I wanted to add to that.
Mhm. Our next topic, um, it's about 50 Cent and Monique.
Hmm.
I think he said like he wanted to like help her, I guess, like because she's been like kind of like blackballed, I guess you can say, in the industry.
Hmm.
And to me, that comment seemed kind of disingenuous. Like, I feel like he was only saying that because he wanted to put somebody on. I didn't feel like it was coming from a genuine place because any other time he has the opportunity to put down a black woman, he takes it and runs with it and posts it on Instagram. So I feel like it was kind of like out of his character to say that he wants to help Monique like get her life back, I guess. And I feel like he just probably just wants to use her, not really sure use her, but just have like that notoriety that he was the one that helped Monique and put her on. He seems like that kind of person. Like I don't feel like he was doing it in a genuine way.
Really?
I have never seen him like talk about Monique ever or co-sign Monique with anything that she does when that was all going on. So it's just like why now?
Yeah,
What
that's
you could have
kind of
helped
true.
her you could have helped her years ago. Um but I like the fact that, the conversation is being brought up and maybe she will get other opportunities too as well. I mean, and 50 Cent wants to help her. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good. But I feel like his intentions aren't good.
Mm,
I don't feel like he was being very genuine about his intentions. I don't feel like he truly wanted to help a black woman. And I feel like he was kind of trolling. Like whenever his caption is in them all caps, like on how they be on Instagram, I never trust him because it's always something dumb. And like he just be kind of running off at the mouth. Like he seemed like one day he'll kind of say something like irresponsibly and just say it just to say it. And I feel like just because this time is something good, it doesn't mean he's being serious or genuine about it.
hmm.
Um, that's how I kind of saw that. I didn't really think thought it was like necessarily good intentions, but hopefully, if she wants to work with him and he gives her a good opportunity to put her back on the map, that'd be great for her. And I'll be glad that he did that for her, but I just don't feel like he's being genuine about it. I feel like he just said it just to say it.
Okay. I guess I never really thought about that, or I never really paid that much attention to like how he announces stuff. But that does make sense because he has been a part of, a lot of controversial things about like how we were talking about like interracial kids versus the black kids. Like he was one of the men. Like they were saying that he was showing off the mixed kid versus his actual kid was like a black woman. That's what they were saying allegedly. So I don't know. So that does kind of, you know, um, that's an interesting point. But I think now also he's dating a black woman, so that may have some type of influence in, his the way he thinks about black women.
Hmm.
Hopefully, he's maybe experiencing a shift in his
Does she look
mindset.
like a black woman, or does she say that she's black? I didn't
Uh,
even know she's dating someone.
she looks black to me. To me,
Oh,
she
okay.
does. Um, But I do definitely want to see Monique back in acting because Monique is a gem. Like I remember when she hosted BET Awards. Like I want her back on that.
Right.
Like and then just her movies. Like I don't know if I've necessarily heard any stories about her being a bad person aside from what they were saying. But I do support Monique, and when she had her whole Netflix controversy, like I felt her on that. Like yes, pay sis her coins.
Hmm.
Um, and I did boycott it a little bit, but then Beyonce made Homecoming, and then I was like, but uh, but
I feel like
yeah.
a celebrity can't tell me what to do with my money. I mean, I get what Monique was saying, but it's just like I'm a regular person, and I mean, I don't know. I
Well,
feel like you can't tell me what to do with my money. Like this is how I decide to watch TV. This is what I want to do,
yeah.
and it's like no one's gonna stop watching Netflix. Like that's like okay, okay, everyone boycott Walmart right now. Don't go to Walmart. Don't go to
Well,
Kroger. Don't go to Chick-fil-A. It wasn't that a thing at one point. Don't go to Chick-fil-A. It's just like I feel like you can agree with something and agree how a celebrity feels, but you don't have to let that affect your personal life. Like I don't know. I'm not gonna do all that for a person I never met before.
for me, it was just more so about like the principle of it, the purpose of it, because
Yeah, I get what she means.
as a black woman and someone who wants to go into the creative field and create art, like I feel like my work should be considered the same or depending on how long my legacy is worth its value versus someone that is white and just came into the game and they're getting X, Y, and Z. Like that happens just in regular life. Like with employment, like you as a black person sometimes can get paid less than a white
Right.
person. And if I find out that that's happening, then something should be done. And I feel like with these corporations, the only way to make them see what they're doing is wrong is by affecting their pockets and the money that they make. So
Yeah.
if that's a stance that you care about, then you know taking some sort of action I feel is necessary, or it's gonna always be ignored. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I definitely hope that she gets back into show business because she's needed.
Yeah.
That
I feel
reminds
like she definitely deserves all her flowers.
yeah,
Um,
and I don't know.
Another comedy special would be good, I think, for her.
Yes.
Or any hosting thing, like when she had her little talk show,
Hmm.
that'd be a good move on her part.
And I heard Steve Harvey say, just because we're talking about comedians, I heard him say that stand up is done for him because the world is too sensitive. And I feel like that's almost getting true because everyone is offended by every comment. So if you're a comedian, your job is to kind of like make fun of stuff. Like
Yeah.
people know that in the comedy realm, like you're not doing anything intentionally to harm anyone. Um, but because of this error, you can't say anything. So being a comedian right now, I feel like it's a super hard job, especially well,
Yeah.
depending the level of comedian that you are. Like if you're a mainstream comedian, you have to keep stuff, I guess, about kids or work or family, that type of thing. You can't really talk about, race or gender or anything like that because
Hmm.
it's gonna be criticized. So
Yeah.
that was just an interesting point that I thought he made.
Yeah. I do agree that everyone does get like offended very easily.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it just depends on the joke because
Yeah.
I feel like it's possible to do race jokes and fat jokes without, you know, them being offensive to everyone because I've seen it being done. And I feel like you can't just be so careless with your words, which
Yeah.
probably sucks if you're a comedian, but I mean, I don't think it's necessarily wrong because you have to realize like that's a full transfer into the real world, especially if you have that kind of effect on people.
Hmm.
It just depends on what it is and like how you're making fun of people. Um, and like the
Also,
level of it.
yeah, and also I feel like they excuse it for different people because Dave Chappelle
Yeah.
can get up there and say anything he wants, and people are gonna say, "Oh, Dave Chappelle was amazing."
Yeah, people go really hard for Dave Chappelle. I mean, Dave Chappelle is funny. Like I love his show, but I don't really watch any of his. I don't follow him. Like I don't like follow him his career or anything like that. Um, people go really hard for Dave Chappelle. I noticed that.
Yeah, he can
And
say
I'm not saying
anything.
they're wrong for that. I mean, if you like Dave Chappelle and you support him, and that's someone you probably watch as a kid, I mean, that's understandable. But for me, I'm not that super. I don't feel like I'm that super attached to any celebrity to where I would go that hard for them, because I feel like a lot of these celebrities be really equal. And like last week we love Joseline. Now look at her. So it's like I just feel like really hard. I can't
Yeah,
really go that hard for any celebrity anymore because one day they're good and they're a good person. Next day, like, that's kind of problematic. Like, I don't really want to support you. Like, I mean, I'll enjoy your content, but I'm not about to sit here and like love on you like that because or like ride for
yeah.
you that hard. Like,
I feel like these new era of celebrity, like I really only call myself a fan of one person, and that's Beyonce. And I feel like Beyonce has proven a 20-year
yeah,
record of being a light in the world. But these new uh people that come out, like it's either I watch them or I listen to them or I don't. Like it's not any type of attachment. Um, because I feel like people don't understand what it means to be a celebrity anymore. People don't
hmm,
like the influence or the value. Like artists come out, they say whatever in their song. They don't have like a message. Back in the I don't, well, back in the day, uh, in the past, like artists used to have like a message or something they stand for or something like that. And that seems non-existent. Um, like these reality people, definitely, they're just chasing a moment, basically. I feel like they try, and then like their true colors show, and you see that they're not what they're trying to be.
right,
Most half of them, some of them are really doing good, but you can just never tell. But it's just not the same. Like, and influencers, you know, they're following trends, not being influencers. Like,
hmm,
it kills me, like, when whatever the fashion trend is, everyone gets on it. Like,
hmm,
the most recent thing, like when one person start wearing Bottega shoes, all the girls that are
yeah,
influenced start wearing Bottega shoes. When
hmm,
Dior becomes a thing, all the girls have on Dior, 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 Dior. And I'm like, if you're
hmm,
an influencer, why are you doing everything everyone else is doing? Like, shouldn't you be doing something different?
yeah, that's
Like that
true.
kills me.
I feel like with influencers, like I agree with what you said. Like I feel like everyone do hop on the same trends and don't really like really do influence. But in regards to black women, like all for a black woman living in luxury by doing the bare minimum. I'm tired of working hard. I'm tired of having to do everything. I'm tired of struggling. I'm tired of having to always be at the top. I'm tired of always having to be to the extreme, having to be better at everyone just to be at the same level. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like I'm all for a black woman posting a picture with the BBL and got her body done, whatever she wanted to do, however she wants to look, and just living that life of luxury by just posting that picture and getting $20,000. Like, I love
Oh
that for her.
yeah, definitely be luxurious. Luxurious. Yeah, but yeah, I support black girl luxury, but
Right.
I feel like if you, especially if you're in the predicament where you can be luxurious, then set
Yeah.
yourself apart from, what's being done.
Right.
Like that's a beautiful thing to see. I definitely like like how I said one of my TV icons was Hillary Banks. Like that's black luxury. So
Right.
definitely I love seeing that, but I just feel like if you're an influencer, just be different because that's what
Right.
influence is. Like you set the trends, like you don't follow them. Like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous. But what else we
Right.
got? Anything else?
I just want to talk about our last topic, and just be like just new music
Oh, okay.
that was been coming out. Recently we got Coil Ray and Nicki
Mhm.
just came out with a track today, and Saucy Santana and Lil Nas X, they have new music coming,
Have you
and
have you listened to the Nicki and Coil Ray? I haven't.
I didn't like it. Lotto Lotto
How
has an
you
album
wait,
coming
wait.
out. Lotto has an album coming out, and then Ari Lennox has
Wait. First of all, don't just say that and skip past it. Tell me why
I'm
you
gonna
didn't
keep
like
talking.
it.
I'm gonna keep talking about it. I just want to let you know all of
Oh,
this stuff. I'm gonna go back to it.
okay, okay.
And Lotto has an album coming out, and Ari Lennox,
Mhm.
she has like new music coming out
Yay.
soon. Well, not soon, but she's like recording and getting her album together.
Good. Okay.
But
I like Ari Lennox.
Coil Ray and Nicki, I don't really listen to a lot of Coil Ray music, but I mean, I feel like I like a few of like her really popular
I
songs,
mean,
but
mentioning them.
yeah, like but it's like I don't listen to her heavy. Like
Mm-mm.
none of her songs I repeat over and over again. But
Me
I do feel
neither.
like she deserves. She hasn't done anything problematic. She seems like a really good person, so she deserves the platform that she has. Nicki Minaj, I feel like all her music it sounds kind of the same now. And I feel like Nicki is really dependent on her features or anytime she collabs because she really needs it
Hmm.
because she just has been so problematic. Like she needs a feature. She needs a feature as much as Megan Thee Stallion or Coil Ray. She needs her and Coil Ray probably need each other
Dang.
because I feel like Nicki. She just it's not that she's not popping anymore. It's just like she's not making her music how she used to, and and I feel like the way she like rolls out her albums is like not good. I feel like she kind of just like kind of talks too much sometimes. Like, and
Oh,
I feel like she it's just kind of hard because I used to be such a Nicki fan. Like, I really love her music. But that doesn't take away from what she's done or what she means to me as an artist. But it's just like I feel like she could just do better as far as her music. And she said she's gonna get back to the basics, but she has yet to do that. Um, and like I feel like she's trying to match her flow to go with all the little like fast paced songs. Like her and Coil Ray are two different sounds, and it's just like I don't know.
you
I
make me
didn't
want
really
to
like
listen
the
to this
song like
right
that.
now.
I didn't think it was a bad song. It was just like okay, this is catchy. This is commercial type stuff.
Mm.
It was bright, with pretty colors, but that's all I can really say about it. Um, I mean, Nicki's always gonna have bars, but I mean, it's just like, is the song gonna stick? Like, cause like I think do we have a problem? Like it fell off the charts, like it didn't really stay on the charts like most of her music does. And that doesn't necessarily mean it was bad. It was just it doesn't have that stick like it usually does. Like it doesn't really stick. Like it doesn't have that replayability, you know.
Mhm.
And I feel the same way with this song. And I feel like this is something I feel like she should just wait until her album releases then do all that later. And I guess this is the way to get her like hyped for the album, but it's just like I don't know, I didn't really like the song like that. I'm not saying it was like complete garbage. It was just like okay, Nicki and Coil Ray, like it's what I expected. It didn't something that shocked me. The beat was very upbeat and cute, but they look beautiful and stunning in the pictures, but that's all I can really say about it. It didn't really
Mhm.
like for me to really love a song I have to replay it over and over again.
Right.
um but I'm no like music, like music is like objective. So I could say I don't like it and someone could think it's like an amazing song and they probably play it all day. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the the barbs, like to them, she can do no wrong. So,
Right. So, I
but
mean,
I will listen to it. I can't wait to. And now with your critique, I can't wait to see what it's
like I
about.
said, it's not a bad song at all. Like, I could hear
Yeah,
it like I may like listen to it when I'm getting ready or something, but as far as me listening
nothing
to
to
it every
really.
day, I'm
Yeah.
probably not even gonna add it to my library. Like,
Mm.
um, but the only music I'm really excited for is Saucy Santana and Lil Nas X. Like, that's like the collab we've been wanting. Like, that's like the perfect collab. I can't wait to whatever they have coming out is released.
And so
And
I
Big
feel like
Lotto,
we should take some credit for that because we spoke that into existence. Because we was talking
we
about him
did,
getting
we did.
getting some more light, and look at this.
Um, Big Lotto, she's releasing the album. I don't really care
Hmm.
too much about that, but I thought it was worth mentioning because she is part of the culture, and I do want to see her like really get big because I do
I
think
like
she has a
mulatto.
nice,
Mhm.
yeah, she has a nice gritty flow, and like
Mhm.
I really like her voice, and I feel
Mhm.
like if she could reach that like really big stardom, she would have a lot of like good opportunities and good
Mhm.
music, and I feel like she's almost there, but just
Mhm.
not quite yet. Kind of
Mhm.
how Megan Thee Stallion used to be.
Mhm.
Um, but I really want to see her like grow.
And I know we're doing the thing where women get along, so they may not do this, but I would like to see them two in a versus, Megan and Mulatto. That would be
They'd
a
be
good show.
perfect. They'd be
Very good
perfect
show.
for a versus.
Because they both have like that competitive energy, but they're
Yeah,
still like cool. And then they both really have bars. They go hard. So like seeing their energy together, I feel like that'll be good for the culture. Like the culture needs that,
yeah,
and that way
right,
versus can get like some younger audience in because I don't
right.
know what they've been doing lately, but it's not the move.
Yeah, but I love Music Soul Child, like and Anthony Hamilton. I just remember like driving, like my mom driving me to school in the morning, and then listening to that. Like that
Well, what I'm
reminds me
saying
of that.
is, have versus been doing anything lately? Like, have they? They haven't been like shows lately,
That
right?
was the last one, I think.
Oh,
Anthony Hamilton and Music Soul Child.
was that
But that
recently?
was a really good one. Like those that's like the perfect two perfect people
Yeah.
to put in the verses. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
they could put some younger people in there to get more engagement from us. But I
Hmm.
guess it's kind of hard because I guess they want people with like a very full catalog. But it doesn't have to be a super long verses because most of the verses be like an hour and a half. Like we don't have that kind of attention span.
That's
Like
true.
for because like we don't really have like a long attention span. We want something like quick and I feel like maybe 45 minutes, a little bit under that.
And what they could do is, see, I need to be on some type of board like with the people who do this because what they could do is they could make it like a series, like the female
Mhm.
rapper series versus,
Yeah,
and then have like two sets of girls, da 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 da,
right,
like each week, for a little while. That'd be fire.
right.
But anyway. Oh, well, I want to add about new music. So I came across this song on TikTok by this girl named Miss Hardbody. I don't know what the name of the song is. Hold on, because it may be in my. Oh, maybe the name of the song is Miss Hardbody, and it's from someone called Shy from the Tray, and the Shy is a money sign. She got a song. It's hard. Like I think I was upset about something, so I just went to listen to this because that's how I get through my
Right.
my not anger, but just that mood. And when I clicked on it, I liked that song, but it took me down because I was like driving or something, and while it was playing, I just let it play. So of course they play all related songs. This was on title.
Mhm.
I need to check Jay, but so what happens is it play like the related songs and like all the related songs from that one song like was fire, and they just had a lot of female rappers in the same type of category like hard, you know rap, but it was a lot of good artists that I had never even heard of before, and I was
Mhm.
like, so if y'all
Right.
want to check that out, feel free because it's
TikTok will really put you onto a lot of new music. Like,
mhm
and that's one thing I will give TikTok credit for. It put me onto like a lot of new music and a lot of
mhm
new artists that I never heard of, old
yeah.
and new. That's
Mhm.
what I like about TikTok.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's all I had for our topics. Do you want to add anything? Like, did you have anything else on your topic list?
Nope, that is everything that I got.
So I guess that is a wrap, everyone, for episode 8. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the channel, share the channel. We appreciate the love, and see you next episode.